Hello friends, I am outside and I'm getting ready to do a DIY, a 4th of July inspired DIY. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, so what I started with, well, first thing I want to say is I've listed everything that I've used in the description box below, and I literally got everything from the Dollar Tree. So I just kind of looped my ribbon around and seen what length I wanted it and then cut it, and then I used that piece as a guideline to cut everything else. I did end up measuring it just so I'd be able to tell you guys what length it was, and it was exactly 12 inches. So yeah, I went ahead and just cut all of my ribbon to exactly 12 inches. Okay, so once I've got all my ribbon cut, then the Stars and Stripe ribbon, I'm going to cut each piece in half, and I just wanted it a little bit more narrow. And the chevron, both the red chevron and the white chevron, I left those the same length or width, but I cut in half my Stars and Stripe ribbon and also my red burlap. I cut that in half as well. Okay, so next I'm going to work with this blue mesh ribbon, and I've actually never used it on a wreath before like this. So I just measured it out the same way and cut it, and I cut it in half as well. Okay, so once I've got all my ribbon cut and ready, I'm going to start with the Stars and Stripes. And this wreath has 4 wire rings that go around it. So I'm going to tie this first piece on the first 2 inner rings. And then the second ribbon I'm going to tie around the last outside 2 rings. I hope this makes sense. And then the third one, I'm going to grab another ribbon here. I'm going to tie it around the 2 center rings and just kind of pull them or push them closer together. And the reason I chose to do it this way is because I wanted kind of an overlapping look. So this is how I ended up doing it. I'm not sure if this is how you're supposed to do it or how other people do it, but I just figured that I liked how this looked. So that's just what I stuck with. So what I ended up doing was I just continued to tie the Stars and Stripe ribbon like this until I've used all of it. So this was 1 full roll of ribbon here. And just to repeat, in case there's any question, I continued to tie in that same pattern, the first 2 rings, and then the second ribbon I would tie on the outer 2 rings, and then the third ribbon I would tie on the 2 inner rings. So I just continued with that pattern all the way around, no matter which ribbon I was using. So once I got that entire roll put on, I really love how that looks. I'm going to use the white chevron ribbon next. So I will say this ribbon has like paint on it. That's how they made the ribbon. So it's a lot stiffer. So I would suggest kind of working it in the center where it's going to tie a little bit to kind of loosen up that paint a little bit, because it's pretty stiff. So I just used 3 pieces. So with this ribbon. I used one on the inner 2 rings, one on the outer 2 rings, and then one on the center 2 rings. And then I switched to the red burlap ribbon. So as far as a row, I would consider 3 ribbons as a row. So I think I used 3 rows of the red burlap ribbon right after the white chevron. So I just really wanted the red to be a little wider. I wanted the red to show up more. So, again, I would say you guys do it how you want to. Maybe you want to use just a white ribbon. There's that white mesh ribbon, and I considered getting that, but I really liked the burlap, so that's why I stuck with that. So the next ribbon that I'm going to use is the red chevron ribbon, and it's the same as the white. It's got paint on it, so if you guys look close, you can see the paint kind of flaking off on my table there. I would suggest the same thing, loosen it up, and I only put 1 row, which is 3 pieces of ribbon on that as well, and then I did another 3 rows of the red burlap ribbon. So I only used 1 roll of the red chevron burlap ribbon, 1 roll of the white chevron, and I used 3 rolls of the red burlap ribbon. So you could probably use more. If I was to do this over, I would have probably used at least 2 or 3 more rolls of the red burlap just to make it really full. I think it could have been a little bit fuller, but I am happy with how this looks. So now I'm going back to the white chevron and just 1 row, which is 3 pieces of ribbon. So if you've noticed, I've kind of got a pattern going. I'll use 1 row of the white chevron, and then 3 rows of the red burlap, and then 1 row of the red chevron, 3 rows of the red burlap, and then 1 row of the white chevron, and so on. So I'm sticking with that until I run out of these colors. Okay, so once I've used up all of those ribbons, I'm going to go ahead and start with my blue mesh, and I'm going to attach it exactly the same way as I have this entire time. I'm just going to stick with the 1 color this time. Okay, once I get all my blue on, I'm just going to go back and kind of fluff everything. And then I wanted to grab this star garland that it's just kind of a wired garland. And I just cut some pieces. I didn't measure them, but just cut some shorter pieces and attached the wire on the outside ring, and then kind of pulled it across, looped it across to the inside ring. And my reason for this is because the blue part on our American flag has stars on it. So that's why I wanted stars right here on my blue. Okay, so I've got my stars attached. Now I want to use this blue tinsel garland. It has stars on it too. And I'm literally going to just tie it exactly the same way, just kind of tie it in random places. I wanted that blue to be just really sparkly, and I thought that this tinsel garland would add just the right amount of sparkle to my blue area. Okay, so I think I used maybe 6 pieces of this sparkly blue garland. And then I'm going to use this garden stake, and it's just a star. They had a different variety of them that you could pick from, but I just really liked this one. And I'm going to just pop it off that stake. It was actually pretty easy to take off of there. And I'm going to attach it to my wreath. But first I decided I wanted to add some more of that. It's kind of that wired star garland. I just cut a little piece of it and I'm going to glue it onto the wreath. And then I'm going to glue my star on top of it. But I just wanted some of those sparkly stars kind of sticking out of that, sticking out from behind that metal star a little bit. So there were actually so many different things that you could choose from to add to a wreath. I just wanted to add something to mine, and I really liked this because it was a metal star that said God Bless America, but there were flag bows and sparkler type things, fans, just like beads, red, white, and blue beads you could add. But yeah, like I said, I just really liked this because it was a metal star. But yeah, once I've got that done, I'm going to use these fairy lights that I got from the Dollar Tree. And, you know, they've got 4th of July lights. You could use that instead, but I just wanted some simple lights. So I'm just going to tuck the battery pack behind that star. And I'm going to put the lights just kind of directly around the star. So you could add it all over the wreath if you want. I wanted lights on it because the majority of 4th of July party is at night. So I just thought it would look so pretty with lights on it and could be lit up at night when all of my guests are here. So I didn't hot glue it or anything. I just kind of twisted it on there. And I love how this looks. I absolutely love it. And the last thing I want to add is when you put your battery pack in there, make sure that it's pointing up so you can easily turn your light off and on. But yeah, I absolutely love how this turned out. I think it's going to be perfect for my 4th of July party. So hope you guys love it too. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.